Guys and dolls, the day's just broke and it's a beautiful day. I hope you're all good. I'm Freedom Dad, as you all know, and I'm going to tell you just what's going on with Tommy today. The day's the day, and we've all kept pretty quiet, and I don't think a lot of people really understand what's going on as well. So it is a judicial review, guys, and it is basically something that Tommy has done himself. It's like a complaints procedure in the prison where you basically start off with a senior officer on the wing. You put your complaint in of your conditions. You're not happy, and then he writes a reply in a wee box underneath. Then it goes to the senior officer, principal officer, and then the governor. They've all got there's like double pages. It's all got wee bits in it. You write your bit, they write their bit, and then you write why you're not happy about their reply. It goes to the next guy. You write why you're not happy about that. Goes to the next guy. Goes to the governor. He writes his reply, and then you write why you're not happy about that, and then it goes out to the courts. It goes to the Home Office basically, and that's where we're at. We're at a judicial review, and it's basically about the conditions. It's not about a sentence. It's not about his conviction. It's nothing to do with that. It's not about the process of him getting to where he is. It's about the process of them keeping him where he is. Okay, that you got to make that. Got to make that very clear. Okay. Um, will he get out? Will he get out? Can he get out? Yes, he can get out. The government can step in and release him on a tag, depending on the order that's given from the judge. Okay, from the courts. Will it be the day? No, it won't be the day. I imagine it will take a couple of weeks. It could take a month. They could push it out. It depends what rulings were high. It just depends a bit on what's been said. We don't know what angles are going. This is a legal team. They will be keeping it all very quiet, and so obviously there's a lot of things we don't know, but we will find out today what's been said. And the most important thing, guys, is what you've got to remember is that this is the first time ever will Tommy have the chance to have the conditions that he goes through in prison documented and recorded in a court of law. This is really, really big. This is really, really big, guys. Tommy's went through all this, and yes, we all know about it, and he's wrote books about it, and but this is different. This is on another level. This is something that's going to be down there forever. What the British government have done to a young working class man, and everything that's going to come out in this is going to be as well, just like what's been highlighted around the world with the video, over 160 million views. That's going to be highlighted that he's just a journalist who exposed the government that lied to the British people and the rest of the world. The nitty gritty of it all, guys, and this is what is getting highlighted now explosively around the world, is that the British government targeted a 15-year-old British kid, accused him of waterboarding a Syrian kid, torturing a Syrian kid, when it was over just a playground spot where the Syrian kid was allegedly bullying other children. And there is proof. People did come forward, and because they're children, wasn't really much defense for Tommy. As you seen, they were just basically, the judges looked at them as if they were all lying just to back Tommy up. And of course, they were going to come in here and back Tommy up, and against this wee poor Syrian boy, and this boy was paraded around the Houses of Parliament. Piers Morgan couldn't speak up highly about him. Piers Morgan slated, like really put our young Bailey in serious danger. This is a man who's got a platform that a lot of people are supporting and subscribing to. I'm proud to say that he's blocked me. That shows you the type of man he is, because I love all meet people. I'll debate anybody. I'll always back up my words, and I always give everybody a chance to tell me if I'm going wrong. When I ask people, please tell me on my videos and the videos that I do, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if Tommy Robinson's wrong. Tell me if Ben Habib's wrong. Rupert Lowe, tell me if they're wrong. UKIP, are they wrong? I'm an open platform for anybody to come on and criticize me and tell me that you're wrong, you're an overthinker, you know, you're worrying about nothing. Your 4 month old daughter in 20 years is going to be absolutely fine. But all this has done is highlight everything. This is what's happening now in Great Britain, what's going on in the streets of Great Britain, how the government are treating young men from Luton, working class boys, and the torture that he is going through, that he truly is going through in prison. And that's all going to be documented in court. So the legal team will be arguing that he should be in an open prison. I have my concerns about open prisons, but that's then the Tommy and his legal team. At the end of the day, the facts. This is the facts of an open prison. Facts of an open prison is everybody in an open prison, or most in 99.9 cases, unless they're civil cases like Tommy, are LTPs, long-term prisoners, who are coming to the end of their sentence. And they will be in an open prison, and this truly is the end of their sentence. They're in an open prison. They will be getting home leaves. An open prison is to get you getting used to going back outside, get you used to being with your family, connecting with your children again, slowly, 1 week a month, or a weekend every few weeks, So people in that situation do not want to lose that. They will not risk anything for that. So I don't think anything will come from any other prisoners in an open prison. But my problem with an open prison is it's an open prison. Anybody can walk out of it. That means anybody can walk into it. So with that in mind, could be tagged. He won't be tagged today. It's going to take weeks, maybe a month. I don't know. It just all depends on how good Tommy's new legal team is. If it's a new legal team or they just, I don't know. Because I can imagine the trouble that he's had with legal people. A lot of lawyers don't want to go near Tommy Robinson. They just don't want. They would rather defend terrorists in this country than Tommy Robinson. And that's, if anybody's followed him, read any of his books, he makes that clear, the trouble he's had with legal firms trying to get somebody to represent him in a British court. So he's had lots of challenges in life. And finally, for the first time ever, Tommy Robinson's name's going to go down in the books of the courts of law in this country. And that's massive, guys. I don't think a lot of people realise how big that is. Tommy will realise how big that is, how important that is to him, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy he's done this. And because he's done this on his own, please believe me, Tommy Robinson started this on his own. This is something he's done in prison. This is an opportunity every prisoner has. If you're in bad conditions, you've got a complaints procedure, that goes all the way. I've done it. And yeah, so that's basically it in a nutshell. But if you want to, so if you just Google prison judicial reviews, do that. Google that, and that will probably tell you everything you need to know. There's only one thing will come up: prison judicial reviews. It's only one thing there is in this country like that. So you're not going to be misled or anything. It's going to be there exactly what the procedures are, and but obviously it's not going to really tell you because it's just laying out how to go about it and what it means. It's not going to tell you anything about Tommy's case, obviously, because every case is different. It's there for all sorts of cases, like solitary confinement. That's what I done it for. I was in solitary confinement on That's the exact same thing as Tommy, you know what I mean? But obviously I got out of solitary confinement before it got to there, you know what I mean? Because that's what it's about. It's if you're in a situation where it's not right, it's illegal, then you've got a complaints procedure. Obviously you do it for compensation, because if you know you're right and they're doing something wrong, they've got to explain how they're doing it and why they're doing something wrong legally now. You know what I mean? So it's it will be interesting, and we all pray for Tommy, guys. We all have our fingers crossed. You know what I mean? Obviously, and yeah. But yeah, I've been keeping quiet about it. Didn't want to make too many waves about it, and didn't want everybody talking about it. We just want it to happen and let it go. You know what I mean? And that's why Tommy doesn't want people at the courts and all that, because it's just going to cause problems for him. Same with the prison. You've really got to think of the psychology. People are angry and everybody wants, relax. You've got to relax and think of the psychology of this. We're trying not to annoy the government right now. We've got a government that are nasty. They're that type of government. And the more we go up against them, the more they'll go, yeah, I think so. You want to protest, you think protesting out the jail's going to do something? Well, we were going to release him. That's the kind of thing, but we're just going to keep him now because, so that's the kind of behaviour the far left use. We know who they are. We know the type of people they are. We know that now. Anybody that's in the psychology and humankind and what type of people, what makes people tick and all the rest of it, we know who our government are. We've known who they are for a long time, and hopefully we change that, guys. Hopefully it's time to change. Take away these weak people and replace them with strong men and women. And that's the way forward. And hopefully Tommy's going to be the beacon. Hopefully when he gets out, he's going to be the beacon for the British people because of the injustices that he suffered. And I think people are going to realise that, even through all the flaws and everything, and when you deep dive the flaws, that's not bad. When you really know, any man and woman can forgive a young man for behaving certain ways. It's the working class. I'm surprised he hasn't got a bigger criminal record, and I don't think a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on that. You try walking a mile in Tommy Rums's shoes, and that's not just a saying. Truly think about it. Going out with your family, getting abused, getting harassed, the amount of fights he's had to walk away from. How many back seats has he had to take? Because he knows if he gets involved in anything, it's not the men that are being aggressive towards him, that get arrested. All they do is attack him. He retaliates, defends himself, and the police just come out and arrest him, and they're not interested in checking CCTV cameras. And most business will get rid of it because they truly believe Tommy's a far right fascist. You know what I mean? So who would help a far right fascist? You know what I mean? This has been what people have believed, and this is why Tommy has been persecuted, not just from the government, but from British people on the street. You've got to remember what that must be like for that man. British people on the street believing that he was a racist, believing he was a far right thug. People being refused food and like from businesses. And we will remember these businesses, and we will remember the people. This is when we go forward, we will never forget. This is what I always tell people: relax, relax. Your day will come. Your day will definitely come. You know, and the people are awakening. People know now. People can see the bigger picture. Everybody can understand what happened to that young boy Bailey and how he was presented to the world. As a thug, as a bully, as a torturer. That's the way Piers Morgan and the government pushed the narrative against one of our young 15-year-old boys. And that's all Tommy was doing. He seen an injustice. He seen a young boy terrified, a family having to go into hiding, and he thought, no way am I letting that go. So he's investigated, he went in with hidden cameras, and he found the truth. And the truth was shocking. And it exposed the government. It exposed the government to the world. 160 million views. The amount of damage done to the government is irreversible. We now know how far our government will go to protect and to lift up on pedestals certain communities in our country while stamping over 15-year-old working class boys to do it. Just like they've stamped over hundreds of thousands of children while doing it. The things that have gone on in Great Britain are being highlighted around the world. Other countries around the world are now aware of the dangers of irregular immigration and the dangers of extremism. And even though Labour think that they're doing something good, nobody can get their head around it. Doing something good for who? The truth of the matter is they've shot themselves in the foot. Not only for themselves, because they'll never be in power again. We're all agreed on that. They won't even be in the race in 4 years. But they've also shot themselves in the foot for what they were trying to achieve with open borders, one world. Anybody can come into this country and receive anything they want, even though their parents and their grandparents haven't paid nothing into the system. They're just taken from the people that's already paid into the system. People aren't going to tolerate that anywhere else in the world now. Simple as that. They say I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty. This is just to let you know about Tommy, guys. This is for my followers, my my subs. You know what I mean? You know, YouTube doesn't put my videos out. No big deal. I'm happy with that. And it makes me a lot more relaxed when I'm doing my videos because I'm not worrying about a video going like 140,000 I get used to, or 40,000 or 50,000. You know what I mean? I can relax. I know I'm going to hit 300 if I'm lucky. And I'm happy with that because I can relax with the comments and interact if I've got the time, you know what I mean? And yeah, so this is just for you guys. So you've got an understanding what's truly going on today, because I've been wanting to tell you for a wee while. But yeah, that's it. It's a prison judicial review. It's something that Tommy's done himself. He started in prison, and now that it's went to the Home Office or Secretary of State into the courts, he's got a legal team to present the case for him, and everything is going to be logged and documented forever, forever. And the government have got to justify keeping that man locked in solitary confinement on a civil charge for a crime that exposes their lies. I'm Freedom Dad. God bless every single one of you.